Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and for the 85th time, it's Brick Haul o'clock with a package full of wonderful pieces from bricklink.com. Now the story behind this package was that I was actually just kind of browsing on Bricklink, which is always a dangerous thing to do really, without any real specific agenda, just looking at kind of new pieces and things like that. And I discovered quite a few that I didn't have, that I didn't even know about, that suddenly became vital that I owned, as is often the case with these things. You know, you were fine when you didn't know about something, and as soon as you found out about it, it became absolutely must-have. So that is the cause for this order, which isn't huge as a result, because I did buy all the things as usual from the store that I could make good use of, but it was really about those very few pieces that actually pretty much all originate from the Builder minifigure wall. Because I don't live particularly near any Lego store, and it would have been shut in the last year anyway for us in the UK, I haven't really been able to get any Builder minifigure walls figures, and they've done quite a few interesting new ones in the last 12 months. So some people have managed to get them either abroad or because of connections or goodness knows what, or maybe because they live really near and have managed to get in the few very brief breaks in lockdowns, and they've got some and they put them in their store and they're for sale. So I'm going to start with those because they're the most important. I'm going to have a sort of nosy around and see if so this bag has got some of them. I'll tip out the bag and go through the rest later, but this is the first one. Look at him. Isn't he wonderful? So fans of the channel will know that I collect many things, and one of the many things that I collect is Lego dogs, and this is a beautiful black sausage dog or dachshund, and he is lovely. Oh, he's so sweet. Look at his little legs and his little tail. And he's got the sort of dark tan colouring around the mouth, black eyes. And he's actually probably a more authentic colouring as I sort of think of a dachshund, really. So he's absolutely wonderful. I didn't know he existed because he was only available on the Builder minifigure wall. He hasn't been in any sets whatsoever. So I thought, since this vendor had them, and they were only charging about £1 for him, which I think is very fair indeed, I thought I may as well get two, because once these have gone, you'll never see them again. So that is a wonderful thing to see. And often people who own these dogs have more than one as well, because they're quite small after all. Now, we have had a dachshund before, but that one was brown. So I've just brought that down from my collection just to show you that. So it's obviously the same mould, but it's a lot less interesting colour. And that was actually from this Series 19 dog sitter minifigure, which is an odd name for somebody with a shovel for cleaning up dog poop, a dog sitter, but nonetheless. So there we go, more of those. So you see, by this point already, I was completely committed to making an order with this vendor. Now here are some other ones from the Builder minifigure wall. And indeed the blister packs, that they sometimes kind of build them for you if you're in a hurry and sell you ones. So this is some parts from the Christmas kind of blister pack of Builder minifigures, and you can see it's an elf costume, but this time it's kind of pink on the torso, and we've got this rather cheery face with the sort of pink cheeks and a winky face on one side and a lovely smile on the other. And if I can rummage around, there should be a hat. Just going to grab that out of this bag with the elf ears on, but this time it's in pink, because we've had a very similar version of this torso before a few times in loads of different sort of holiday Christmas sets, and indeed this hat, but never in this colour combo. And I thought it'd be really good if I added some small green legs from my own collection. Just saved me a bit of money having to buy another set when I had some. Then that completes that minifigure, and it kind of be the female equivalent of the season 11 or series 11 holiday elf. So I thought that was really good fun. So I used this guy at Christmas for obvious reasons. So I guess now he's got a buddy to do that with. So I think that's a really good fun buy. And I love that face. Absolutely great. So yeah, so there's another one of those. So that's already from my collection. So we'll keep that here. So that wasn't the real reason for the order, but I was already committed, as I say. And then there was one more thing, which just blew my mind. I didn't know this existed. This was in a similar sort of blister pack, but this time for Halloween, and it was a kid in a costume. Now, we've had all sorts of kids in costumes before, but have you ever seen a tiger suit girl? Well, here we go. So we've got some little orange legs, a lovely torso with stripes on the back and kind of a nice fluffy tummy with some stripes on the front as well. That looks absolutely great. Oh, and as usual, I've forgotten to do the tail. So we've actually got a proper tiger tail as well, which may now be part of the Tigger minifigure on the Winnie the Pooh set, I suppose. But nonetheless, that's so low, it's almost too low for the ground. But nonetheless, got that. Now, I didn't buy the tiger face for this because I already had one from a Bricks and Pieces order because I was going to use it for face painting. So I can use that here. So that saved me a little bit of money as well. So that is the same that was in the People Pack Fun at the Fairground for the face painting, as I say. And then a very wonderful tiger cub hat or headpiece. And how cute is that? So again, I don't know what I'm going to use that for. Ideas, please, in the comments. But I mean, it will be great at Halloween for somebody else dressed up as a costume. And we've got loads of little kids now dressed up as stuff. We've got devils and little penguins and little all sorts. So whatever I use those for in the end, this one can join them. But I just thought it was ever so sweet with all these stripes on and very bright and colourful. And these little ears. Yeah, brilliant. So those, and it doesn't stand up that well. Maybe I should turn the tail the other way up so it's kind of going up the back a bit more. Because, I mean, they do have quite long tails that sort of wave around a little bit when they're angry or what have you. Let's see how that looks. I think that looks all right, doesn't it? It doesn't look stupid. Yeah, cool. We'll have it that way around and then at least they can stand up. So this was the main reason for the order. Once I'd got all that in, I was just trying to find other stuff that I needed that they had just to save on postage. So, I think they're wonderful because obviously I haven't seen these before, so I'm really, really glad to see them. I think the dogs are the best just because I'm very biased. So let's finish off this bag that we've opened already. Here was some Halloween legs that were all with bats and jack-o'-lanterns and things like that all over them. Obviously, they've come from the same route to build a minifigure wall. I didn't really need any other ones, so I just got the legs on their own. I've got a couple of the lovely white birds that I tend to buy now pretty much whenever I see them for a reasonable price, just because I want my city full of birds. And come on, Lego, we need more different types. Got the seagull, got the blue ones, got the white ones, but I want some robins and sparrows and pigeons. Some plates, some brackets, some more of these wedge plates in dark red and dark green for my mystery build that you will never guess. Some more of those clear little stand pieces. They're so useful, these. So I always go through them in all sorts of little builds for positioning bits and bobs. One of those I must have needed for something. Now this is these sort of ghost tentacles from that Hidden Side set 70419 wrecked shrimp boat from 2019. I've got that shrimp boat in my harbour, and I've got these tentacles on a ghost in my haunted subway station as well. But these were quite cheap, and I thought it looked quite organic. It looked like kind of a beastie, and maybe it's a bit of seaweed. There's the SSP going by, as usual, trying to intimidate me. And that's kind of thrown me now. Yeah, I thought I'd use it as seaweed or something like that under the sea, because that's very sort of organic looking, I think, and I'm not sure if it glows in the dark, but it definitely looks like it should. And indeed, because it's got that nautical theme of the wrecked shrimp boat, it's even got sort of sucker imprints on the inside, actually. So if I can orientate it that way, I think it will be perfect. You know, I could always have an undersea ghost as well, quite frankly, so that could work there. Right, so that's the bags that I already opened. Then I've got some trans bright green, slightly different from trans neon green, but not a whole load different. Got loads of these sort of globe pieces. They're kind of usually sirens and things, but I'm going to use those under the sea as well as kind of, I don't know, attach them to some tree limb pieces and they'll kind of look like blobs of something or other. And these two are part of a side build in 70165, Ultra Agents Mission HQ, which is kind of the terabyte little mech there. And I'm trying to recreate that from pieces because I don't have that set. It's quite a big one, and I just want that side build. So I'm going to be building that when I've accumulated all of the pieces. Now this is really interesting and very different. I haven't seen this first time round. Maybe I dismissed the set immediately. Oh, there's more super secret police. Yeah, siren, obviously. Yeah, this is another piece that sort of passed me by. Maybe because I dismissed the set entirely, because it's actually from the Shimmer and Shine Sparkle Spar 70837. So that might be why I dismissed it. But this character is Balthazar Vampire Bat, as he's the Vampire Bat version of Balthazar, of course. And why I got this was not for the shiny head, but for the bat body, because this body, of course, has got the different size pins. You can put a head on it. And I really like the idea of having kind of an oversized vampire head on a vampire bat. So from my own collection again, I've got a vampire head. Oh, it doesn't fit. Oh no, that's a disaster. I was going to do that and have that flying around with the wonderful sort of vampire hair as well. But it's because it's a friend's head, isn't it? It's got a slightly different peg size. Oh, what a disaster. Oh, so I've done a massive fail there. So, yeah, I didn't realise, because I don't really have anything to do with Friends mini dolls, that they had a different neck. Oh, that's a nightmare. So that hasn't worked. Maybe I can do something else with this. I suppose, is that a bar width? So I can probably use this somehow, though exactly how I don't know, to get a head on there or something else. Or otherwise I'll just have to have a headless bat, because I don't think I want that bit in my city. Now on the positive side, I probably can use this sort of glitter hairdo for some sort of pop star or something like that, or some really fancy rocker or something like that. Don't know. Yeah, but it looks pretty good. Oh, that's a shame. I was looking forward to having a little vampire bat with a big head going around my city. Oh well, you can't get it right every time. Another minifigure. This one is also from a Hidden Side set, and also one that I've already got, but he's kind of hidden away, because this is Chef Enzo from the Shrimp Shack Attack, which you have to kind of say slowly. And that's 70422. And that is the Shrimp Shack that is on my beach. And there he is in his really grubby sort of work overalls with his spiral pad and pencil in his front pocket. But I really, really like him. And I've kept my version of Chef Enzo actually in the Shrimp Shack, so you can barely see him. Well, unless you really crane down. So I figured somebody else in some really messy overalls somewhere, maybe as part of the fairground, maybe on a food stall there as well, would be really suitable. So definitely getting another one of those is very welcome. I have him standing up as well. Then two really cheap figures. Oh, from, well, quite a long time ago in some cases. So this one's from 2011 and is Jake Rains from the Pharaoh's Quest line. A few sets including 7305 Scarab Attack. And that Scarab looks pretty mean and nasty as well. So, yeah, he's just filler, really. I just thought he was a nice character. I think I've already got one, but I can sort of swap the pieces out and make another similar person just to be going around somewhere in my city. The fact that he's kind of got a bandolier of bullets across his chest, we'll just have to ignore. Doesn't seem that safe in the UK. That would be quite unusual. And then here, this guy, who I don't know anything about whatsoever, because I don't really know anything about Iron Man and so on, but this is the Extremist Soldier from 76007, Iron Man's Malibu Mansion Attack from 2013. And this guy's got a glow-in-the-dark head, so I'm going to just get my UV torch, if I can get it working. There we go, and that should be glowing. There we are. Yep, that glows. So that's quite good fun. I'm a bit of a sucker when it comes to glow-in-the-dark pieces, so I'll think of something fun to do with him. I mean, you could always go to my hospital as somebody who's ill, of course, but I can use the torso, I can use the legs, I can definitely use the hairpiece, and it wasn't that expensive. And then the back, and that's why he could go in the hospital, because he's much like that what was the other character who had that? I forget. But all these sort of red lines almost look like he's been in some horrible accident, even though that's not probably what they're designed for in the Marvel sense. So that's a cool minifigure as well. Oh, and I was hoping to use my UV torch on my brand new vampire bat. Oh, still not got over that, because that's another glow-in-the-dark head. Oh. Right, some stickered pieces. So what do we got here? We have got some non-stickered kind of lever/aerial pieces. I'm using these up on all sorts of little builds, so it's good to get a top-up of those. This is a stickered piece. It definitely needs moving, doesn't it? Using my patented hot tea technique. Haven't had that one for a while. And this is kind of this spidery type eyes, except it's actually from a monster crab in the Monster Crab Clash set of 8056 from 2010. And that's an Atlantis set. It's a really nice crab attack, that. But the crab that I've got from the Aqua Raiders line is much bigger and nastier, so I won't be recreating that. But I did get this piece just so I could have some eyes staring out of the darkness, which I think would be good in my undersea scenes again. And then we've got another stickered piece for them. Yes, the SSP in the house. And they can that can be moved onto whatever vehicle I build for these guys, or maybe even a second obvious sign on their HQ or something like that. But I think I've probably got enough of these now, but up till now I've been buying every piece that's got that written on it. So that's welcome as well. Then some quite big bags, but of much more generic pieces. Let me push all of this forward and we can tip it at the back so it's still in the frame. We have got loads of different shaped slopes in green, and this is kind of to fill in some of the gaps in between my rides on the windowsill, like the Ferris wheel in the fairground and the normal sort of ground level. So we're going to need lots of sort of kind of edging when it changes height a little bit. I've got lots of brown plates just to start off the edging kind of in between the ground level and the haunted subway station, just to kind of put sort of like some earth into that cross section, so it kind of looks like you're going underground between the normal height and the subway station. So I think that'll be good. Some brown chairs, they must have been on for a good price. Some 2x8 plates. One apple for my orchard. I think that was like 2p, so I thought, yep, I'll have that for 2p, even though there's only one. More of those green slopes, this time 1x2 and 1x3 slopes mainly. And then lots of 4x6 plates in tan. Dark tan rather, and I'm going to be using these both for the paths in my fairground and if not, then under the sea. So there's loads of those. They were good value as well. Last bag. Some dark green 2x4s, and they're for the secret build that I've built up far too much now. It's not even that amazing a build, but nonetheless, you won't guess it. And then some minifigure kind of accessories, really. So we've got a pink basket that I thought I might give to the farmer's wife who might be picking the apples in the orchard or something like that. So that's a nice bright thing there that will contrast well with the lime green of the apples. One of these kind of fur collar pieces that is usually on the penguin in the Batman line, I think, sort of fur collar, including 70911, the penguin Arctic roller from 2017. So I do have a penguin character. I've got loads of actual penguins, and I've got an actual penguin character from Batman that I'm going to use somewhere, I think. And I think he's already got this colour. So if he has, then I'll just give it to somebody else. Maybe a lady wearing a very sort of old-fashioned coat, going somewhere fancy in a nice restaurant, perhaps. So that's that. And then last but not least, a pie. I realised I didn't have many of these pies, and if we're going to have a farmer's market where they're selling things, I would have thought that selling a nice pie would be a good thing to have. And this, very much to my mind, looks like a lemon meringue pie, which is one of my favourite desserts. So yeah, it's making me actually hungry holding that. So Not the biggest order in the world ever, but some good parts that we're going to need possibly even this week on Friday for the fairground, so I better get those cleaned. Some for the paths as well there, and then lots of interesting minifigures, with one disappointment being this, because of the different sized pin for the head, but several really amazing things. I think in descending order of brilliance, we've got or ascending rather, we've got the female elf, who I'll put at position number 3, who I really like. Position number 2, we're going to go for the tiger cub girl, who is so cute. That is about as good as it gets. But in number 1 position, we've got the Dashant boys. Yeah, they're just too cool. Brilliant. Really happy with that haul. Awesome. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment, but most importantly, to subscribe. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below, one of which is the new YouTube memberships, where you can use loads of fancy icons, and also join in some of the polls that I'll be running, just to organise the order of release of some of the future ideas that I've got for the channel. And the one that I'm running at the moment seems to suggest that on Monday we might be starting the cargo area for the trains, which I've been talking about for a very long time, so that's probably quite a good idea. But before then we'll do a Fairground Friday, using probably some of these pieces and hopefully getting another ride installed. But whatever we get up to, I'm sure we'll have a great time. So, see you then!